a little bit about the importance of differentiating between what you've been taught is good for you and what is actually good for you. And of course, your body is going to acclimate to the environment. It's going to adapt to the conditions. And sometimes it doesn't. And you develop allergies in which people must conform to your needs because it is evident that perhaps a particular food or substance does not work well with your body. Your body rejects it. But this is not always the case. Sometimes your body adapts and your body believes that this substance is something that is acceptable because through repetition, it learned how to receive, to utilize that energy. For example, I was extremely allergic to eggs when I was a baby. Nobody knew I was allergic to eggs, and everybody wanted me to eat eggs every day. And every time I would eat eggs, I would break out into hives, and I don't even know what would happen. All I know is that it wasn't a good situation. And my mom would leave me with babysitters who would feed me eggs. Usually family members. And over time, she realized that I had an egg allergy. This did not sit well with me once I started to get a little older and I realized that all the fun things had eggs in it, right? Cupcakes, everything had eggs in it at that point, right? And this is a great example of how the mind can kind of play tricks on you, especially when it comes to food. Because not everything has eggs in it. But because I was allergic to eggs, I was under the impression that I can't have anything because everything has eggs in it. I can't do nothing fun. And so instead of just understanding that I was allergic to eggs and moving on, I was like, I am not allergic to eggs. I'm not finna be allergic to eggs. And I started to eat eggs regardless. I didn't care how it made me feel. I didn't care about none of that. I was like, I'm gonna eat eggs. Matter of fact, I want the real thing. I really wanted, scrambled eggs and over easy eggs and all that. So I started to introduce it into my diet. And it wasn't that hard with eggs. But I was also allergic to other things like lentils, all peas, beans, legumes. Maybe not black beans. I was good with the black beans. Most legumes didn't sit well at all. I would literally go into anaphylactic shock. What else? Peas. That's a legume. Rosemary. Who knows? I was allergic to a lot of things. And when I started dabbling in vegetarianism, and even before that, when I was trying all this like West Indian food, because I grew up around a West Indian family, a family from Guyana, they always cooked with dal or peas. And so I wanted to eat it. But every time I ate it, it made my tongue itchy. It made my throat swell up. And sometimes I would be fighting for my life to breathe. But I did not like the fact that I was allergic to these things because I liked them. So what I would do is I would eat it, and then I would have a bottle of Benadryl, and I would chug Benadryl if I started to feel like I was going into that shock. It's a very unhealthy thing that I did. I'm not proud of that at all. But it's just to show you that the body will learn to accept substances that are foreign to it, that don't sit well with it. When I think about this and the way that people have beliefs around food, people believe that you need certain foods in order to be healthy. They think that if you want vitamin D, you need to drink milk to make your bones strong. Where in actuality, the milk in a lot of these places, are not coming from sound beings. They're not coming from healthy animals. And it deteriorates the bone. It actually weakens the bones. It creates mucus in the body, which is the source of every disease. It doesn't matter what disease it is. There is one source to every disease, and that is inflammation, and inflammation comes from excess mucus in the body. And milk produces an abundance of this excess mucus. If you are somebody who has acclimated to this, you might be good. You know, I'm not saying don't drink milk. I think milk is a wonderful thing to drink. But there are better options. If you get the cheapest milk from the store, more often than not, this is coming from cows that have surgically implanted portholes in the side of their bodies. And to just say as little as possible, they're not healthy. And it's not healthy to drink that. It's full of pus and cancer. Literally. So, healthier alternatives are important. And you will find that no matter how healthy you take it, there's always a deeper level of healthy. You could get the organic milk, and then you could realize, oh, well, now I know the source of my organic milk. And you realize, oh, this is a raw organic milk. I don't know. Oh, goat's milk. This is actually something that works well with my digestive system. I could be making that up. I don't really drink milk, so I don't drink milk from animals. And something that I've heard is that people are supposed to drink milk from their own mothers, and then they think that they're supposed to continue to drink milk forever. I think that people should just do what they want to do as far as what they ingest. But to have some clarity around that experience, to understand why it's important to have better options. You deserve to have your own autonomy, to listen to your own body. You shouldn't participate in anything if this is not something that you sense inwardly feels good to you. And you should be able to differentiate between what feels good and what is simply just familiar to you. I actually wanted to participate in those things because I no longer wanted to eat meat. And so the fact that I couldn't pissed me off. I preferred those things over the denser foods, just as a being, naturally. And here I am in this position where I literally, my body, nobody's telling me I can't. I physically cannot take it. And so I trained my body to take it. And over time, I eat lentils. I mean, when it comes to peas and like pea protein, I realized this very strongly not too long ago, that pea protein, when I ingest that, My heart starts racing. I can't really breathe. I can't feel that much. I feel like everything's going black. It's bad. So I have to mix in different kinds of protein, like pumpkin seed protein powder, hemp seed protein powder. A lot of people be talking about protein powder and how you shouldn't, whatever. Look at the ingredients of your food. And know that the less ingredients it has, the more natural, the more your body is going to acclimate to that, as opposed to all of those other additives. And it will reflect in your being. It will reflect. And it's not something that you have to even care about. You are not obligated to participate. It's just a simple fact. That our bodies are going to respond over time to things that are more natural in such a way as to reflect your light, the light within you. Children have been trained to not listen to their bodies and to listen to the perceptions of their parents. If you're watching this and you are caring about giving your children what they deserve, allow them to have choices. Give them 3 healthy choices and allow them to choose. Because you might want to give them blueberries, but maybe cherries is what their body needed, right? So you can give them 3 options, or just allow them to develop their own autonomy and their own understanding of their connection to their body through making these choices in regards to food. When it comes to food and it being expensive, I don't like to think that food is so expensive. I do not limit myself when it comes to buying quality food. I don't care how much it is. I care about the situation at large, of course. But at the end of the day, there is no food scarcity. There is no scarcity of money for food. This is a thought form that is very poor. It does not serve anybody. Look inside of a seeded watermelon. How many watermelons are contained inside of a single watermelon? How many strawberries are contained inside of a single strawberry? It's ridiculous. It is naturally designed to perpetuate forever. So to really adopt this idea, to conform to this idea that food is expensive is absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't mean that we all have to become farmers and all this and that. But if you can have a literal house, if you can have an actual car and continuously fill it with fuel and buy all these random things, why is it that food is expensive to you or to anybody?
Maybe I'll flow into it if I kind of start over.
It is a mental health issue to believe that food is expensive. And to put the power into people's hands that seek to create food out of chemicals when it comes in infinitely abundant quantities from the natural source. I do not do that. I don't do that. That's ridiculous. So, what can you do to remedy this mental illness, to believe that food is expensive and inaccessible? Focus your attention somewhere else. Focus your attention. Redirect your thought patterns. Remold your brain into seeing how abundant food is, how abundant in money you are in to have food. You don't have to worry about it. Of course, you're going to choose the more sound and organic option because it's not riddled with chemicals. Oh, it's $6, it's $7 instead of $3. Since when were we pressed about $3? Since when? And when did you start affirming to yourself that because it's a $3, $4, $5 extra dollars, that it's all of a sudden so expensive and such a problem? How many times did you affirm that and create that reality for yourself and for your family and for yourselves? So redirect your focus, redirect your energy. Next time you go to pick an option, empower yourself. Say, of course I have enough money to buy this. Of course I'm gonna pick the better option. There's absolutely no compromise when it comes to this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go buy some soil and I'm gonna grow my own basil and I'm gonna make my own pesto. I'm gonna go to the stores that sell the best foods for the cheapest. Where there's a will, there's a way. Don't opt out for what's obviously being used against you.
Oh, alright, I give up.
And honestly, it's not even being used against you. People are just promoting their own tactics to make their own money. So who would you like to empower? Yourself or the people that you complain about and claim to be controlling you in that respect? Appreciate ya. Oh, check out your local farmers market. Create relationships with the farmers. And know your sources.